overall thoughts did you have from today's game?
Yeah, I felt like in the second half out there it was a old-fashioned ass kicking. They got after us.
Started out promising. Just kind of fell apart on us, man.
Third down. Green, what is he doing? It's an interception.
We've seen this script over and over again, giving games away in the second half with giveaways.
The message is we got 30-some kids that will walk on senior day, and they got one left.
One left. That's the message from Coach Petrino. I want to welcome everybody into 4th and 5 as we are giving it another go. I want to apologize about some technical difficulties we had a little bit earlier when we were at Oaklawn. We didn't want to go to bed. We wanted to see if we could fix it, come back on, and present our show to you. There was a message I do want to address in our comment section as we tried to get stuff up and running, and it was just struggling. So much lag, so much glitching. This is from Pig Pimpin'. Says, DJ, I love the podcast, but your podcast is the only one that is always freezing up and cutting out. We have to figure this out. And I'll say this. I'm with you, man. That's something we're trying to work on. We try to do a lot here on our podcast, on our show, and us being in first year of trying to figure all this out and trying to give a really good product. You come across a couple hurdles. All right. So me and the team, we try our best each time something happens to try to not let it happen again. But it seems like each time we try to build the show bigger and bigger, we find a new hurdle and then we have to figure it out. So please give us some grace. But this comment doesn't even make me mad because this is the standard we want as well at 4th and 5 to bring y'all a good quality product and stop having all these little gremlins that pop up into our system. So here we are. Once again, people joining in. Sorry if y'all were able, if y'all tried to watch earlier at 5:30. Now we get a little late night edition, but we're going to recap what we already kind of talked about just in case you missed it. Grant, Josh, how y'all doing?
Good, man. How are you guys?
Doing good. Just frustrated. A little, just trying my best.
Hey, we're working on it. We're going to get it right, man. I don't know anything. Prior to this, I didn't know anything about production.
Oh, we tried to go live.
Man, I feel like I could go run the news station down here on Dixon Street if I had to.
Probably could.
As much soundboards and touchscreen video and 4 or 5 cameras and the whole thing. People very rarely see what's going on behind the camera. And I hear, what was it, Pig Pimpin'?
Pig Pimpin', baby.
There's a lot. The amount of cords, we could probably run cords from Little Rock to Fayetteville end to end to run one of these shows. But, yeah, we're working on it, man, trying to make it smooth.
Well, that being said, I don't even know if it's going smooth right now. So somebody let us know in the chat. Is this video lagging? I think I fixed the issue. It was a little overload issue with how much we try to put into the show each and every week. So, yeah, if you can leave a comment and let us know, that'd be very much appreciated, which I'm very – there it is. There we go. DeMarcus Love is in the house. What's up, fellas? Say what? We're good? Thanks, babe. My girl's watching. DeMarcus, I saw a video that you sent. DeMarcus has a good camera guy down there in Texas. He was at the game with the Longhorns, hanging out with Val Powell and the crew. D-Love, good to hear from you. Titan Pig is here, too. So I think we're all good to go. Josh, thanks for sticking it out with me earlier at Oaklawn, and thanks for hopping back on here for tonight. And so this is what we have tonight. All right, I'm going to ask the fellas about update with the coaching search, okay? We ran some video from Pete Thamel. We're going to rehash that again. Also, who we think should be the starter come this Saturday against Mizzou. KJ Jackson jumped in there, had some really good tape, y'all. We're actually going to go over that in the breakdown tonight. I'm going to show you some things where I think everything fell apart, and I'm going to show you a separate one, just KJ and his clips. And the thing about it is every time we talk about this, you hear this, don't show all the good clips because he's going to get poached and he's going to end up somewhere else. Man, I think coaches need to stop trying to avoid that. If you got a guy who's good and you're trying to hide him so other people don't see him, then pay him what he's worth, in my opinion. Okay, but Josh, thoughts on that game down there in Texas?
DJ, Grant, Y'all remember what I finished the show with during the pregame? I said Arkansas is a pit bull, and we haven't got to bite any of our opponents yet, but I feel like we're going to get one of them before the end of the season. And what's going on? Am I lagging, boys?
Oh yeah, a little bit.
A little bit.
It was pretty bad. It was pretty bad there for a second.
Go for it again. Let's see. Go ahead.
All right.
Well, DJ, all I was saying is that we talked about the the opportunity that Arkansas is going to have in one of these last two games to win.
Yeah,
I mentioned that Arkansas. I went as far as saying, "Hey, we're a pit bull that we keep flicking, or these other teams keep flicking us on the nose, and we can't come away with a win. But somebody's going to get bit by the end of the season, and it might be Texas." And I was dead wrong. Maybe Petrino can walk away with a victory in this final game against Missouri. We'll see.
All right, let's keep this thing moving. A little bit is a lie. Dadgummit. I can't tell how far y'all are behind right now. I think we're all good. We got a little gremlin fixed out. We're good now. But the big question, coaching. So Pete Thamel at the broadcast on ESPN, he brought up 4 names. And so we're going to talk about that. And pretty much does that take some people out of the conversation that we had. So here is Pete Thamel. I'll say this is a very interesting character. I'll say that. I did not expect this when I saw him pop up on TV. But here we go.
Coaching search. What do you have, Pete Thamel?
Thanks, Joe. The latest on the Arkansas search today is it appears to be coming to a culmination in the near future. I've been told to expect some resolution in the upcoming days. And sources have told me there's 4 names that have been linked to this search the most. USF's Alex Golish, Memphis's Ryan Silverfield, North Texas's Eric Morris, and Alabama defensive coordinator Kane.
Dude's got some juice, that's for sure. So back to the coaching search, what we're talking about. You see the names popped up on your screen. These are the one he's picked up. Now, I just don't see ESPN having somebody hop on there just throwing out stuff out of the blue. I would assume he has sources. I would assume they're probably pretty legit. And these are the names that are continuing to pop up. You look up today, you start seeing other people say this and that. But let's just focus on this. Out of these 4 fellas, what are you thinking? And Braden, stay with me, all right? I'm going to show you those KJ clips here in just a second. Let's talk about this coaching thing real quick. And let's not spend a lot of time on it. Grant, I'll start with you.
Yeah, I don't know. None of them maybe get you super excited. I know Eric Morris has kind of been the quarterback whisperer. I think Mahomes and maybe Cam Ward are 2 of the quarterbacks that kind of came up underneath Eric Morris. Silverfield, shout out D Love. He was our assistant offensive line coach when we were at the Vikings. So got a little history with Ryan Silverfield there. Obviously done some good things at Memphis. And Kane Womack, obviously Razorback guy, not sure. I mean, Alabama, not necessarily this year known for their defense per se, but kind of an intriguing one there. And then Golish, I think, is probably the most proven one with his time at South Florida. So for me, I think, I don't know, Morris, Silverfield, Golish, not sure about Kane Womack.
Josh?
Yeah, I mean, if I've got to look at all the guys, Kane Womack's not a guy that I know a lot about, but it's kind of because he wasn't really a name that hit, my ears until that segment by Pete Thamel. So it makes me think that maybe since that's a brand new name that's emerged, and he had the opportunity to go on ESPN and make this claim that he has this inside information, and that name popped up and it's new, it makes me kind of naturally lean to go like, what's up with the Womack situation? We haven't heard anything about that. So, we've talked about, it's important to have an Arkansas guy here at the University of Arkansas. He has Arkansas ties. We've talked about Hunter Yurchek supposedly leaning more towards this whole defensive coordinator type of a coaching hire. He checks that box as well. It was interesting to hear his name because I was like, that's a brand new name to this whole rumor mill. And if Pete Thamel has legitimacy behind that claim, then I'm kind of leaning more that way. Maybe that's the answer. But Silverfield's also got my attention out of the bunch because what he's been able to do at Memphis with a smaller budget.
I will say this,
go ahead.
Womack did address he got asked about it today, right? I mean, obviously your name gets thrown out there. and he answered it like anybody would that probably is in the heat of a coaching search, which is, "Oh, I'm not here to address any of the coaching stuff." So
you got a
we'll see.
Bama fans want to keep Womack if DeBoer leaves. Take that for what you will. That's good. And just a history with Womack and DeBoer. DeBoer was offensive coordinator in Indiana. So Womack was the D coordinator there. He comes over, head coach, brings them on over. All right, there we go. Alabama top 10 defense, and Alabama is Alabama. They got some dudes over there. All right, enough on the coaching search. We'll keep you updated if things pop up. Let's move over to the now the quarterback controversy for the last game of the year. Talk about something unexpected for us to talk about, and it's kind of exciting and something that I'm really looking forward to see how it's going to pan out. So we all know what happened with the play with Talon. I'll show that clip, and I'll give you the explanation that Coach Petrino gave for why that happened, but still not happy with Talon at all. KJ comes in, gets in a situation. I was on the radio today, and I believe a coach has a responsibility and an obligation to their players who they preach week in and week out, day in and day out. You work hard, you earn your spot, and when your opportunity pops up, if you earn it, then it's yours. I think KJ did that. And if he doesn't start this weekend, I think that would be a very poor coaching decision based off that simple principle. That's just my opinion. That's not a knock on Talon, but I think Talon has done enough to allow that gate to open up for KJ to get his opportunity, and then he goes in there and does his thing. Now, I said that, and a lot of people believe, well, Talon's meant a lot for this program, and it's senior night. We believe he should get the start. That's not the type of sentiment you need within a football program. This feeling like you owe it to everything is earned out on that football field. So I'd be shocked if Coach Petrino does not start KJ based off what we've seen. Like I said, I love Talon. I do. I think he's great. But based off what we've seen, but before I ask y'all's opinion about all that, here's Coach Petrino addressing that very bizarre play from Talon and then talking about KJ as well. This is going to be post game, and then I'm also going to show a presser that happened today when people ask who is going to start.
But I did like the way KJ came in and played and competed and showed toughness, and I thought he gave us a spark when he came in.
So Taylor was kind of pounding on his hamstrings, but could he have gone back in, or what was his status?
Well, initially it was a no. And I don't know what the exact injury was. As soon as that happens, you start preparing KJ to get ready to go and what we're going to do with him in there. And then there was a period of time where they said Talon's back up, and I said, no, we're going to finish this one with KJ and keep him playing.
Yeah, Coach, I guess KJ or Talon, have you made a decision yet on maybe where you're going to go under center this weekend?
Oh, no, not yet. Not yet. We got to play it out and practice and make sure everybody's in good shape. But and we probably won't even announce it. We'll just work it and see who's ready to go.
But Talon's available from he was able to come back into the game, but just confirming he's doing fine.
Yeah, he's healthy. He was given the clear to come back in the game. I made the decision that when he was healthy when they told me that Talon's ready to go, that was the words they said, Talon's ready to go. And I said, no, we're going to stay with KJ. So we kept KJ in the game. I thought he earned it. Took the ball, drove us down. I think we got 3 scores with him in the game, 2 touchdowns and a field goal, and I thought he did a good job.
The key thing that he said there for me, fellas, he says, I think he earned it.
Well, the key thing that I heard just then is that he recorrected himself, and he said the words were they said Talon's ready to go. I never heard that there was an injury that was given to Petrino from the athletic staff. It just seemed like it was Talon's personal decision to when he was ready to go. But by that point in time, Coach Petrino had already basically said, no, KJ's in. He's going to run this thing. Now, I saw what happened. I think the whole world saw what happened on the sideline, DJ. And it was so obvious that the ESPN ran a rerun on it real quick to kind of tap back into what Bobby was saying to Talon. After that play, I didn't see a hamstring grab. I didn't see a hamstring limp. I saw him trot off, discouraged from the sideline. I saw him sitting on the sideline, getting chewed out by Bobby Petrino, looking like he was a deer in the headlights, like he just did not have any grit about him in that moment. Now, that's my personal opinion on it. And then all of a sudden, KJ's going in the game, and you're over there stretching your hamstrings. And then right after that happens, all of a sudden they go, oh, yeah, hey, Taylor's ready to go in now. I don't buy it. And if that was the case, if it was truly just, hey, a hamstring was hung up on him and he needed to stretch it out real quick, you've been a starting quarterback and you're leading the nation with a lot of stats. Why would your coach not put you in? Why wouldn't he put you in? There was a changing of the guard. Something happened. My opinion, guys, I wasn't down on the sideline. My opinion is that there was a changing of the guard. There was something that happened there with Petrino and Taylor on the sideline. And my gut tells me that Taylor had a throw in a fit moment, a weak moment, a give up moment. And Petrino saw it and said, no, we're going with KJ. I'm not dealing with this.
So kind of the same thing is when did your hamstring start hurting? What was it after you got chewed out and then Coach Petrino looked about one person over and went, and you saw KJ jump up, grab his helmet, go start throwing?
Billings got hurt.
Your hamstring start hurting then?
Yeah.
Hey, we've all had our fair share of chewings from Coach Petrino. I mean, if you've played for him, you know, if somebody from Louisville is watching this and you played for Coach Petrino, you got your fair share. There's a message inside of some of the chaos that's said in there. And now whether Coach Petrino thought Taylor didn't take that message well, or maybe he just thought, you know what, we got to have a jolt of something new in this offense. I don't know. But I'll say this. I caught the same thing you did, DJ, when he said KJ earned the right to come in.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I'll tell you this. He doesn't believe KJ earned the right in that game to stay in. I think he believes that KJ's earned the right through spring, summer, the first 11 weeks of the season in practice to prove that in that situation, I have enough trust in him to go in the game and get something done.
Mm-hmm.
Now, when he got in, I think he proved that. Now, a game is completely different than those scenarios. But he was highly effective when he was in the game as a redshirt freshman against a really, really good Texas defense. And I think it gave Coach Petrino even that much more confidence in him as he was playing through the rest of the end of that game. Now, coming into this week, you know, I do think, and I was probably a little bit of a sympathizer in the post game that we went through, and I'm sitting here thinking, like, man, is it really senior night, and you're not going to let this guy that is coming in that has done some really impressive things for you as a program not get the start on the last night he'll ever play in that stadium or for the Razorbacks. And then I thought about it for a few days. And is that the type of you want to set as a, hey, I'm sympathetic to this and I want to go do it? Or is it, hey, the best person's going to play. You had your opportunity to prove that you were the best person, undoubtedly, and you left the door open. That's the biggest thing in sports is the competition factor. And I always remember like thinking, all right, if I slip up and I let this backup in and they play better than I did this game, now all of a sudden I'm fighting to get this thing back. But that is the thing that makes teams great. We used to talk about it all the time. Links on a chain, right? The top link is your best player. The bottom link is your worst. The gap in between those two players, the shorter or the smaller that gap is, the better your team is. Mm-hmm. And so, unfortunately for Taylor, the gap at quarterback is not gigantic. And there's some mental things that I think KJ needs to hone in on, but time will fix those things. And I think there's a couple things you're going to point out that shows on checks and all that. I feel like Josh right now on that rant that but I had to get it out there because that's how I feel about the situation.
Well, yeah, DJ, I'll say this to both of you guys: the quarterback position is different when you're talking about getting replaced. It's a little bit different than replacing offensive lineman. A little bit different than losing your starting spot as a tight end. Now you've been in this position all season long as a starting quarterback. And if you went out with a hamstring injury, cramp, and you uncramped yourself, and you're the starting quarterback of that team, your coach goes, "Is he ready? Is he ready? Let's get him back in." What tells me that it wasn't just about the hamstring, boys, is that Bobby Petrino didn't put him back in. And then what confirms it is this postseason or this press conference after the game is the comments that he just laid out. This is your starting quarterback that you're now not even coming out and saying that he's going to have the job next week. To me, there was something that was done that was a weak moment for Talon, unfortunately, on a national stage.
Yep.
That Bobby Petrino lost a lot of confidence in. And that's where Talon Green is probably going to go out with his Razorback career.
And I've said this. I've been surprised about how many things that it seems like Coach Petrino's been trying to somewhat defend in a way. And it's just, I mean, you got to have your guys back, especially in the media. But if you go back and watch the past few games of some questionable decisions of Coach Petrino in those press conferences, lost for words, you don't see that happen often.
Yeah, I've seen the deterioration of confidence.
LSU game, he says, we run it in practice. The tight end's the number one read. I really don't know why Talon didn't throw it to him, you know? And that's how he's saying it to us. So just amplify that by 1,000. That's how he's probably processing it in his brain, then probably tones it down and then delivers it to Talon. Even before then, the Auburn game, when we started throwing all those picks in the fourth quarter, he's like, it's a cloud corner. We see it all the time. He's made the throw all the time. I'm not sure why he did that, you know? Talon, he's taken unnecessary sacks, and sometimes he's trying. It's been a theme of Coach Petrino. You can see it's just like, and this one in the press conference, if you go back and listen to that clip, they asked him about it. He said, hell, I don't know. I mean, so when you're catching Coach Petrino off guard where he's seeing you play and he doesn't even have an explanation of why you just did that from your guy, you have to move on. That's just the way it is. And
but it was also his reaction, though, DJ, afterwards. Like,
no, it was. You
sideline
could see it in
reaction.
his face. I mean, I think as soon as it happened, man, I would love to be, if I could go back in time and figure out how to get a camera up tight on Coach Petrino. Y'all already know, as soon as that ball went into the air and landed into the Texas's guy's hand, you know Coach Petrino, remember when I barely bobbled the catch on the sideline and I barely got out and it was a no catch because I didn't secure the catch, and he found me on the sideline and he says, "Williams, are you trying to effing get me fired?" I mean, that looked, I know Coach Petrino was just like, he's trying to screw me. I can't make this up. I've never seen anything like this. Now, there is an explanation for that play. Still not an excuse for what had happened. And speaking of that explanation, let me go ahead and get into the film. So I'm going to show you some of this stuff where Arkansas had a really good first play, and it just seemed like they couldn't get it figured out. Some offensive line stuff, quarterback stuff, receiver stuff. It's all over the field. I'm focusing on the offensive side of the ball. Grant, I'm really going to need your help breaking more offensive line stuff down tomorrow, because there's some stuff I'm looking at. I'm just like, I can't call it. I don't know what's going on. But there's some things that I do know what's going on, but I'm going to need your help on that. Matt's going to talk about the defense. But I'm going to go ahead and get into that. In the second half of that, I really want to focus on KJ Jackson, because there's some stuff in here I'm like, wow. Then there's some stuff on here I'm just like, that's the same thing I would give Talon a hard time for. We got to tighten up. But we'll talk about it. So, fellas, I appreciate y'all hanging out. I'm going to go ahead and get to it.
All right, DJ. I appreciate you, man. Hey, and
All right.
before last thing.
Look, D-Love.
I was a guy who said a lot about Talon Green all season long, but he lost me when I could see that he wasn't prepared to lead this team after he made a mistake.
Saw that face. It was tough. Yeah. All right, fellas. Y'all have a good one.
See you, fellas.
All right, let's go ahead and get into the breakdown. So once again, I like to show film, go back and see exactly what was going on, take a little bit deeper dive. Forgive me if I missed some of the comments. I got to pull a whole bunch of things up on my computer, so I really can't see the comment section, but I'll check in from time to time. But let me go ahead and make this a little bit bigger for everybody right now. So I usually just get right to it and address the issues because that's just what I do. But I got to show love and give credit when credit is due. I'll tell you, Mike Washington, This kid right here has been quite the surprise. 1,000-yard rusher after this weekend, running the ball the right way, about as good as they come. Great kid, and he absolutely baptizes this defender from Texas. Puts him almost through that, 15-yard line. This is same arm, same shoulder, not running for the sideline. You gonna feel me. Boom. I mean, that was special. After this, he says, I'm like that. I'm like that. I'm like, I see it, Mike. You are like that. Now, however, we finally get a bone, maybe a little hold. It's cool. Keep it in tight. Let it go. We're gonna let that slide. But look at this freeze frame right here when he runs this guy over. I mean, that's when you know you really ran somebody over, when you're putting them on their head. I mean, that's big time right there. People behind them, cheerleaders are saying, ooh, the whole stadium was like that. Mike Washington, man, you've been a pleasure to watch. Great addition for the Razorbacks, playing the game the way the game's supposed to be played, man. Tough guy right there. Tough guy. All right, let's go ahead and get into the offensive film. This is after that first play from Mike Washington where he busted it out, and then we get to a 1st and 10. It's like we had a really good first play on each drive and then just fell off. An explosive, and then we just couldn't figure it out. Texas only rushing 3 people right here, only 3. All right, you should have this sewed up. It's just a simple twist up front, and we're lost. You got 5 guys on 3, and you got 1 guy coming free and 2 guys looking lost, okay? That's not the way to start the game, especially now there's so much coverage down there. Nowhere to go. Good decision throwing it away, but you got to be brushed up front. Now, 3rd and 9, this is the first hand that they showed of how they want to play us. Now, on film, they've been shown to bring a lot of pressure and blitz. We talked about that in our pregame show, but you can tell they had a plan for Talon because they know if they show blitz, he's going to have that time clock ticking and probably pull that ball down and run. That's what he likes to do. And that's exactly what happened right here. But what they did, instead of blitzing everybody, they brought these 2 guys back, and now they got spies on Talon. Usually a team only has 1 spy. Texas went ahead and had 2 spies on Talon. That's how much they were committing to not letting Talon beat them with the legs, but they were rolling the dice and saying, just let him throw it. He may end up throwing it to us. Okay, so get in a situation, he starts scrambling, and this is where Coach Petrino just loses his mind a lot of the times of understanding when to throw it away, find somebody, throw it at their feet. But look at that field goal line, right? That's our kicker's career-long field goal line right there. And we're getting further and further away from it. We were on the other side, but then you start scrambling, putting yourself behind a manageable field goal. Now, we ended up making this field goal, so it worked out. But sometimes you just have to understand when a play's not there, then just move on to fight another day. And then ball security. How many times have we talked about this? I'm not sure why he's extending, reaching the ball out with 1 hand as if he's trying to get a first down. Ball security right there. Too many bad things can happen. This can slip out of your hand, potentially get a weird bounce, stay in bounds, and now you got a turnover. It's just doing too much. And Petrino's talked about Talon needs to understand that sometimes a negative play isn't that bad. But it can be bad when you make it worse. We end up making a field goal on that play, so no harm, no foul. But let's go and take a look at this. Once again, you're in a situation, once it develops, you see that they got man-to-man on that side. And I think this is where we want Talon to be, to understand now you got one-on-one with Raylan Sharp. You have to trust your guy. You have to trust him to win. Go ahead and start loading it up and get ready to throw this ball. This ball should be in the air as soon as Raylan Sharp cuts inside, because look at it. It's there, right there. First down, moving the chains. Thanks, babe. But you got to trust it, and you got to make throws before they develop. Talon has a really bad habit. I mean, there was a couple times this year where I was just like, that's how it's done. He's getting the ball out early, so as soon as the receiver turns around, the ball's in the air. That's how small these windows are in college football. But I think he gets so timid, and he wants to see it develop first and then throw it. But by that time, there's too much speed on that defensive side of the ball. It's just too late. Let's go ahead and get to another clip right here. This is going to be a 2nd and 5. You got to hit them when they're there, the easy ones. And I'm going to bring up one with KJ as well. But you got a guy who started every game this year. The routine catches and the routine throws, you got to hit. Opportunity to pick up a first down here in the red zone. Throws the ball about a yard short. Makes it a very difficult attempt for a catch. Ends up not being a catch. And then we get to a 3rd and 5. And then we just need better execution. Sell the plays. You know, we're trying to sell the toss to shuttle it to Rohan Jones coming underneath. But you got one guy that's accounting for 3 Razorbacks right here, just because you really didn't sell it. You know, if you're these plays, you got to win an Oscar on these plays. Wish they could have that one back. I don't know if I'm the biggest fan of that, but it's worked before in the past. And I will say we've run it a lot. But still, I think if you're able to get this guy out of here more with selling the pitch, he's the one who folds back under and is the first one to make contact and not allow Rohan to move forward. Also, physicality on all sides of the ball at every position. This is now the second week in a row that we have seen C.J. Brown not block very well. I mean, it's a physical game, and if you want to get out there and catch passes, you got to be available, and you got to be physical in the passing game and run game as well. He's going to be lined up with this guy right here from Texas, and you tell me, who wants it more? Who's physical? Who's a football player? Who's soft and who's not? That ain't it. Because if I go back right here, what we would do when we played, when we would show this on tape, you got to understand why you're blocking. You're blocking because you got your homeboy behind you trying to do something special with the football. All right. So it's not about you. It's about the guy you're blocking for. And this effort, if I were the running back, I was like, dang, dog, I thought we would. Do you not like me? Just a poor excuse for a block. You even got this guy from Texas getting up, scratching his head, trying to figure out, why is this dude trying to block me? Bad stuff on tape, y'all. It's harsh. But and a lot of people get on to me sometimes. They say I'm a little too harsh in these situations, but I just don't know what you expect when I don't know how to be optimistic when you only win 2 games this year. We're 2-9. All right. So this just it is what it is. I'm going ahead and reading through some of these comments right now. Line coach, smart writing. All right, we're going to keep this thing going. People locked in watching film. What's up, Ron Watt? Y'all keep hanging out. All right, let's get back to the tape. Like I said, receivers got to step up and do more than that. All right, here's a 3rd and 3 right here. So this is the play where the wheels fell off. All right, this is the one that I'm pretty sure everyone dropped their draw trying to figure out what just happened. All right, a little read option, and we just throw it to the defender. I couldn't believe it. Okay, so theory is, and Coach Petrino will explain that here in a little bit, that maybe there's an option for a pass. It's hard for me to think that because when you look at these guys right here, you see these offensive linemen, they are down the field. So any forward pass is already illegal. All right. This is, to me, it looks like run all the way. But then we get this, okay? It ends up being one of the most bizarre turnovers in Razorback history. You got people in the stands trying to figure out what the hell just happened. Look, you even got the coach on the sideline. See if you can read his lips right here, okay? I'm going to see if I can slow it down. He says, why did you throw that? Let me go back one more time. You see him? He says, why did you throw that? Wow. Then you got the sidelines right here. That's actually Bobby Petrino Jr. You know, he knows the playbook. He's like, what the hell? You got my girls down here trying to figure it out. You got my guy over here scratching his chin, trying to figure out what he just witnessed. I mean, just bizarre play. All right. So what happened here? Let's go ahead and break this down. Here's what Coach Petrino had to say about this play in the press conference post-game.
In the second half, those 2 turnovers just kill you. You know, the one that's should be an easy first down. We had an assignment error on it, but you can't just do what Talon did with the ball.
What was Talon? Was he trying to throw it to Rohan there, or was he trying to just get rid of it, or what?
Yeah, it's a hell of a question. You know, Rohan made an assignment error. He's supposed to run a flat route to the flat. It's the play we've used.
I got to pause that. You notice he says, because the reporter, I think it was Trey, he said, what was going on there? Was he trying to throw it to Rohan? Coach Petrino pauses and says, that's a hell of a question. Those are the ones that I'm telling y'all, this is the tame Coach Petrino, but when he's trying to figure out what the hell is going on, it's a problem. Let's finish.
A number of times we've ran in the end zone with it, and he just made an assignment error, and when you do that, you can't just throw the ball, you know. So it was a total panic play and turnover, and unfortunate because it shouldn't happen, can't happen.
Can't happen. All right, it can't happen. And what's this? BP Browning, appreciate the super like right there. Thanks so much. And that's what we're going to try to do. Always keep it real. I know sometimes it rubs people the wrong way, but it's just on tape, and we're going to try to make this thing work. But let's go ahead and get back to the film breakdown. Here's the play that he was explaining. So apparently, Rohan Jones over here is supposed to slip out into the flat. Okay. But he does not do so. And I'll say this too, Rohan, if you think you're supposed to block, then block. What is that? That's a very poor attempt for a block. And this is what worries me moving forward. If we're going to be a program that relies on portal players all the time, this is like year one offense mistakes. Okay. Complex offense. I don't care how many times you rep it, how many times you run it. The most mistakes you make all year long are usually in year one, and then you're building stuff. Same thing when we were there. It was pre-snap penalties, holdings, formations all messed up. But when you get experience, you start limiting these mistakes because you have people who know what to do. Right now, you still got a lot of people out there thinking through stuff, and they're not really just reacting. They're thinking, and they're playing slow, and they have these situations like that cost games. So if we become a team that relies on the portal year in and year out, this ain't going to change. Just get used to it. So I'm hoping whoever we get in, Coach Petrino or somebody, whoever it is, I don't know who the next head coach is going to be. They need to be someone who can somewhat retain a roster year to year. Rebuilding every year ain't going to win nothing unless you got about $70 million in the bank and you can buy all the best players in the country. Texas Tech figured it out. So is Ohio State. All right, let's keep it rolling. And then you get this weird toss right here. That's where I say with the lineman downfield, it's hard to believe that there was a pass option in this. But I just don't know what the hell Talon is attempting right here. Somebody saying he got hit from behind and it made him shoot it out a little further. Decisions, y'all. In comes KJ Jackson. All right. So this is where I'm going to switch gears, talk about KJ. I typically hop in a break right now, and I need to do that, y'all, because everything kind of fell apart. Dang, did I take those out? I sure did. I need to put in a little sponsor real quick because it fell apart tonight at Oaklawn. Okay. So real shout out to Oaklawn. They're our title sponsor. I was trying to clear out my system, so I had to take the ad out real quick. But I will say this. People who want to wager on games, download the Oaklawn Sports Betting app, and they can help you out. People who sign up for the first time, over $1,000 in bonus bets, okay? Very simple and easy to walk through. And the cool thing about it is if you're unfamiliar with it, at the very top of the tab as you slide through the Oaklawn Sports Betting app, I have my picks up there. David Basil has his picks up there. They have some pre-game, pre-made parlays for you to kind of work through it. But if you are someone who likes the game within the game, literally, if you're watching the Arkansas game and you're in the Oaklawn Sports Betting app, if you want to have fun with it, you can bet if a team's going to get a first down or not on one drive, or will they punt, kick a field goal, score a touchdown, or get a turnover. So many cool things to get going with that. So big shout out to our title sponsor for making this work. Also, I got to give another shout out to our travel sponsor. They get us from point A to point B, and that is Southwest Auto in Arkadelphia. Cool thing about it is they deliver to you. So if you're not in Arkadelphia, you go to their website at iDrive Arkansas, iDriveSWA.com. You like a car, a great deal on a vehicle, they'll deliver it to you. Yes, they'll make it super easy. Also, too, if you buy a new vehicle from there, you get tires for life. And if you buy a car now, drive now, pay later. No payments for 90 days. I know some people are trying to put that new car off because you're waiting for a couple things to happen. You may need those 90 days to get your finances in order, and that's where that comes in. So big shout out to Southwest Auto. All right, here we go. Let's get back to the breakdown. KJ Jackson time, y'all. And the first play out of the gate, what did we get? A little nerves. And that's normal. I'm in. Let's get rocking and rolling. You can see right here, throws it in the dirt. Little bad throw right there. But after that, after he got settled in, Felt good about this kid, okay? See right here on a 3rd and 7, he feels the pressure. He knows where it's coming from. He just needs to get away from it just a smidge. And the thing I like about this right here, see how he's already got that ball loaded up, ready to go? And look at Mike Washington. Eyes forward, not looking at him. He is trusting him to be where he needs to be, and the ball's going to be there when he turns his head around. Delivers it, nice. Mike picks it up, nice first down. It's a good thing that he's not waiting to make that eye contact before he gets that ball out. Good execution right there on the 3rd down. Get those chains moving. Here we go. Here's another 3rd down. And look at what Texas is showing up front. They're showing they're about to bring the house. All right, kid, redshirt freshman, we're going to see if you can pick up this blitz. And they're showing it, and look what they do with the snap. They drop everybody. They only rushing 2 people right now. So they got coverage deep, they got coverage mid, they got coverage short. They're literally covering everything. They're trying to confuse KJ and force him into a bad throw. There's nowhere to go. Great poise. Look, takes his time. He realizes he has to throw it, and this is big time right here. He knows he's not going to sneak that into C.J. Brown on the sideline. So give me a little pump, get that guy's feet in the air, and go get the first. And the great thing I like about this, look at this. Remember what I talked about, ball security? Come on, man. Take care of the ball. Good job. DJ, you said Talon would be so much better in year 2 under Petrino, and yet the pre-snap reads are shabby effort. I'm not sure who this is, and you need to go back and listen to things I have said. I said Talon should be better in a year 2 with Coach Petrino. I said I would be surprised if he is not. I said, however, there are things that popped up last year. Sorry, y'all want to see this comment I'm talking about? This is from 3-2, whatever. I just snuck this in. Yeah, I said the things that he needed to work on should give him a whole offseason. If he can get rid of those things, then we'll be rocking. And for the first 3 games of the year, that's what we saw, especially in that Ole Miss game. And then he started to progress, or he started to digress. All right. So if you're going to say it, now, if I did say that, please go back and record the clip and show me. But no, I'm a big believer in saying I think most people agreed that he should be better giving 2 years with Coach Petrino. Because even in the bowl game, he was making progress. He's just, when he gets in his head, y'all, with Talon, man, it's just tough to watch sometimes. Falls apart quick. Back to the breakdown. Back to KJ Jackson. All right, kid. Let's see what we got. Once again, they've dropped everybody out. Let's make a decision. Give me a little pump. Get that guy in the air. Let's go get that first down. Great ball security. All right, let's go and take a look at another play. This is, in my opinion, one of his first mess up. I think he got this one wrong right here. I think he got this wrong, and because I believe I know what they're trying to do. He comes up to the line of scrimmage and he makes a check. You see that check right there? You're checking the play, all right, based off what he saw. And I think he checked the wrong thing. See how he tosses it out wide right now, but they're out leveraged. Right idea, wrong check. Okay. So if you got a wide technique out here, you don't want to toss this ball out there and expect your linemen and blockers to try to out leverage this guy. It ain't going to happen. I think I know what he was trying to check to. Now, this is a little bit too much insider, and out of respect for Coach Petrino, I'm not going to tell you what this play is, just in case Mizzou's watching. But this is a big staple in Petrino's offense. But essentially, instead of trying to loop outside, have the tackle try to, reach this defensive end, what you want is your left tackle, that is, to block down on that D lineman right in front of him. You want your tight end right here to maybe jab at that wide 9 technique just to freeze them a little bit, okay? And then you want your tight end to work up to number 8, okay? And then if that happens, then that little jab the tight end gives to that defensive end or that edge rusher out there, that'll freeze him just a smidge for Carmona to come and kick him out. And then that ball should come right inside right here, okay? That's what I believe he was trying to check to. He just got it wrong. You can't toss this out here and expect Carmona to get up to this linebacker. It ain't going to happen. We can run that back, take a look one more time. Like I said, great concept, but the ball needs to be inside. God, I really wish I could just tell y'all what this play is. All right, here we go. Who is this? Sorry, y'all. I got a second to say. Somebody is in it. Talking out both sides of your mouth, your co-host. You must not be a Justin Acree fan. And I'll say this, Justin does not talk out both sides of his desk. Or, sorry, his desk. Reading your name. His mouth. But 325 DSK. If you have the time to go back, we record everything. Please feel free to go back early in the season and please pull that up. I'll let you spend your time on that, big dog. I'm very aware of what I'll be talking about. All right, here we go. Let's keep it rolling. Once again, KJ right here. Another situation, 2nd and 12. Know where he wants to go. Ball's already loaded up, getting it out quick, and throws a dart. And this is what is special. Now, this ball is thrown a little low, and Omega has to adjust to catch it. But if he does this on purpose, for the reason I'm about to say, then KJ is an extremely special quarterback. Because watch this. If he leads Omega right here, if he leads him, watch. You see that? If he leads him at all and he catches this in stride, we got a headhunter coming down to blow this play up. So I would say the biggest difference between NFL and quarterback and college quarterbacks that are good is NFL quarterbacks, the good ones, that is, when they put a ball like maybe on a hip or a shoulder, they're doing it for a purpose because they know a big hit is coming and they're trying to protect you, or that's their way of telling you which way to turn. That's what the good ones do. I don't know if KJ is doing that right here, but if he is, it'd be extremely impressive. All right. So if you look at it from this angle right here, you see how bang that is. Omega's got to catch that. But I think the ball needs to be thrown to him a little low in a way. Now, if it was a little higher, that'd be great, but at least slow him down to avoid that big hit. But still, Omega, we got to look this one in and catch it. Ball sitting in your hands. Don't start looking at that guy. I mean, he's trying to catch it, That's a tough one. Let's get to a 3rd and 12. And once again, sometimes I feel like in these situations, Talon is the type who wants to get it all. All right. And sometimes you just have to take what is there. Look where we are on the field again. And sometimes walking away with 3 is better than walking away with 0. I mean, I know you would prefer 7, but 3 is better than 0. Yes, we're short of the first down, but we are in field goal range now. And based off 3rd quarter where we are, you put yourself in a manageable 4th down situation where it would be 4th and 5 if we get this ball right here, which they complete. Now, we get thrown a bone from a personal foul call. Now, yes, back in the day, this is fine, okay? But the rules are what they are nowadays. It is what it is. All right, and then you get this play right here. A lot of people thought he should run, but if you play this play out a little bit more, they close so fast, he may get back to the line of scrimmage before contact here on this 1st down. I think he did the exact right thing. Eyes out, delivers a dart. And as we watch this, I want y'all to tell me if this is a catchable ball or not. Okay, let's talk about his accuracy on the sideline. Did he put this in a position for Rohan to catch it? I mean, come on, man. What are we talking about? Whew. That's a nice throw right there. Very nice throw. Now, I'll say this is a tough catch, too, just based off body position and where this guy's hands got in on Rohan. But Rohan got some big old muscles, all right? Muscle this thing in there. Clamp down on this thing. Go make a big-time special play in the back of the end zone. That's tough. It's a close one. Oh, you got to snag that ball. Got to snag that ball right there. 2nd and 10. This is, in my opinion, the first and only time that KJ really forced in a throw, and it ended up being a bad decision. And the thing about it is he learned quick. Now, he got it. Angels in the outfield or end zone or whatever. This referee, it bounced off of him. If it doesn't bounce off of him, there's a good chance this ball gets intercepted right there. But bounces off the shoulder of the referee. You can see it right there. But this is the first time I saw him really force it in and not make a smart throw, which is going to happen. All right. We got away with one. Let's get to a 3rd and 10 situation. And what I like right here, if you look at the screen, everyone's covered, but I like his ability to try to find space in the pocket and still try to make a throw. Okay. Ends up being up short. It is what it is. But look at the pocket awareness right here. See that? I like that. Shift moving around the pocket. That's big time. And then let's go ahead and get to this play right here. You got to hit the easy ones when they're there. The layup throws, we've talked about that a lot. I like how the slant wasn't there. How many times have we seen Talon hold on to Omega and they keep dropping? And I've said, just throw it out to the flat. Gets it out to him quick. Picks up some good yardage right there. Great decision. And then you get the sack right here. Now, yes, it's a sack, but I want to point out the effort right here from KJ. You see him way back here, along with Mike. Mike, I need a little bit more juice because you never know what can happen in these plays. KJ's the one who gets sacked, gets up, and almost meets the guy at the line of scrimmage. Give him about 5 more yards. He may get a handle on that ball. You never know what can happen. Just poor get off right here from our right tackle. And like I said, Coach Petrino said that their edge rusher number 1 was special. Just about the whole game, they had somebody on the outside edge just trying to chip him and slow him down. The one time they didn't is the one time they brought the house. And he's special, y'all. He's fast. Great job by him. But, yeah, good job by KJ with the effort. I mean, Texas has some dudes, y'all. I mean, we didn't lose to no slap team. They had some really good guys on defense. This is another one where I called out Talon for, and I'll call out KJ. You got to hit the easy ones. You know, you got a nice little hitch right there. You got a little off coverage. You got to hit this on a 1st and 10. Ball thrown short. I think he knows that. But what do we do now? Get right back up. After giving up sack fumble, what are we doing? Moving the ball down the field. Great slant right there. Let's go with the dig over the middle of the field to your tight end. And then we're moving. All right, we're moving. What are we going to do in the pocket? Be poised. Your options aren't there. Keep the eyes down the field. Now we see it. He threw a pump fake with his right hand. Ball's not even in that hand. Left-handed guy. Special right here. Wants to get in the end zone. I think he's a special kid, y'all. Very excited about his future. Now, the question is, where's his future going to be? All right. So some interesting scenarios are starting to pop up, and y'all let me know what you think. Great job by KJ right there. Y'all let me know what you think. All right. I do 325. I'll address that in a little bit. Moving forward, as far as quarterback is concerned, I think a lot of people right now would agree that I think KJ has earned his spot. All right. If you were KJ, what would you do? I want to ask that question. Y'all go in the chat right now. So a name that's popping up, and I think it's slowly starting to become a leading name. Now, that's not me trying to think or tell you who I think is going to be the head coach. Eric Morris at North Texas is a name that pops up a lot, okay? If Eric Morris comes to Arkansas, I would be shocked if he doesn't bring, what's his name, Mestermaker, his quarterback with him, that freshman. He's special, y'all, and he's good too. He's big time. And I would assume if he comes in today's era, he would want to come play with his coach. And you know his coach would bring him to Arkansas. You know what I mean? And so this new coach that comes in, how do y'all want him to handle his business? Do you want him to try to retain the guys that are here now? Okay, try to help develop them and build them. Retain this recruiting class, or do you want him to start from scratch, bring in his own guys, go to the portal, try to bring his recruiting class? I mean, I think that's one thing we just aren't talking about enough is how difficult it is nowadays to come in from scratch because you don't know who's going to be there or not. And so very curious about that because if Eric Morris is our coach, I would be shocked if that quarterback doesn't follow him because he would definitely give him a scholarship to play here. CW. And you hear so would be much better. This guy is on it, man. You are on it. You really are. Get CW to pull up any preseason show episodes, and you will hear yourself saying TG would be much better. Well, the thing is, whether you like it or not, this is what gets wild. Even though I'm not saying that I for sure said he should be better in a year or two. We just got to wait and see. I would have to pull it up, but is he not better? I mean, he still made bonehead decisions last year. He's making bonehead decisions this year, but stat-wise, that's where you kind of look at it. I even think this team this year is better than this team than last year. I looked at something that ESPN posted, something about the point differential. I can never say that word right. Is how Arkansas is one of the best in the country. They are just 2-8 or 2-9. And so, I mean, the theme all year, and I will say this, y'all, it's been one of the more bizarre seasons I've ever been a part of. Because for us to be 2-9, you would think dog water Chad Moore's years. No offense, Chad. But the team is literally in it outside now of 2 games, outside of the Texas game and outside of the Notre Dame game. We have played the best teams in college football, and week for week are right there. And so, even I still think you're wrong, Mr. 325. But I guess he technically is better than this year than he was last year. But you can go for it all you want. I really do encourage you to go pull up all of our episodes. We should have time for that. You got time to text on here. Yeah, they are the best 2-9 team in the country. Do you think years from now, a lot of these guys will go back and be like, hey, I was a part of the best 2-10 team in the history of college football? It's so weird, but it would be true. It'd be real true. All right, y'all. Thanks for hanging out with me. Thanks for indulging me. Sorry about the issues we had earlier. And back to this point right now, like I said, this is something we really do take serious. All right, so we're working on it. We had all the technical issues at the show tonight. And once again, Pig Pimpin', I appreciate the comment and I love the feedback. I'll take it. DJ, love the podcast, but your podcast is the only one that is always freezing up and cutting out. We have to figure this out. And I agree. I'm with you. And like I said, I talk to the boys all the time. We try a lot. I mean, putting all this stuff together with the clips and the breakdowns and trying to put the sponsors, build commercials, build graphics. It's a lot, and for a lot of us, it's the first time we're trying to do this on our own. So with that comes new hurdles. With that comes unexpected surprises. And, me being 10 years in the news, you have a lot of support. You got the big satellite truck. You got a team full of producers. You got cameraman. You got this big, hub in the director's room with all those buttons. You got a prompter roller. You got an audio guy. You got all that. And we're trying to recreate a product worthy of TV with just this. All right. This is all we got. All right. So bear with us. All right. Because as we continue to grow, we're going to slowly start trying to get more things to help our product get better. But I'll say this, man, we're going to keep trying. I've really been appreciating all the feedback and support we've gotten from a lot of people watching. So we're going to keep doing it. All right. I agree. So look at this. We've come to a common ground. TG is better, but reading defenses. I said reading defenses, I would say, is not his suit at all. Not even a strong suit. I think he makes his mind up a lot before the ball is snapped, and that has been a thing. There have been a few things that I have noticed with pre-snap reads. They just don't happen very often. Figure it out. The husband went down. I'm sorry, I keep doing your thing. Did he do an interview about the Heisman? I don't remember that. It's a little too soon. Is this true? Is Eric Morris going to Oklahoma State? Is that confirmed? Let me know because I'm about to hop off this. Guess we'll find out. Appreciate y'all. Y'all have a great night. Thanks for always watching. Best way to support is to subscribe. Means a lot. Y'all have a good night.